Hey there team, welcome to Edoras. And once again, oh, my heart aches as this is not snowy Edoras. But still, Edoras is always a map that I like seeing, whether we have snow or not. We got this from Colonel again, we got Colonel ties and, is it just, yeah, no, well it looks like it's a 2v3, so it looks like it's probably Colonel and ties together. Up against a good attacking force, I'm thinking Rohan or Mirkwood at the top, but I'm feeling Rohan, and then I think it's Lothlorien on the west, and then Gondor on the south, but we'll see. So Rhudaur and Isengard I think is quite a cool matchup, you know, for like, say if you've got two evil factions defending, Rhudaur of course just massive amounts of attack coming at you, and but like poor defensive ability, whereas in Isengard certainly can pack that on for an orcish faction. They play very much sort of Western Kingdoms of Men, and for a Western Kingdom of Man, Rhudaur plays very much like a sort of fanatic high attack, low defense force. So it's yeah, they're definitely a cool match together, I think. So Tyz has got his Snaga here. So we will have a quick look at this once they're actually all set up, because right now they're not deploying. They can only deploy after the attackers. Nazhai there, some crossbows. Of course, this is still 0.97. I think I've got 3 more 0.97, including this one. I've got 3 more 0.97 battles to get through, and then we will be on to the new content, which will be pretty hectic, pretty cool. So things will, of course, be a bit different. If you've been watching any sort of more up-to-date battles, some things here are, of course, a bit dated. The Trolls of the White Hand there, of course, won't be performing quite as devastating power as they can in the modern day. Unarmored upgraded Rhudaur clansmen is quite a rare thing to see when Rhudaur say on the defense. You really sort of want to pack that on, but I really like the look of them without the armor upgrade. They look great with it too, but I tend not to really put it on myself either. Some Herenadine pikes there alongside the Isengard or Uruk-hai infantry. Herenadine pikes are certainly something that can hold the line very well for Rhudaur. Yeah, some level of armor. I don't want to say decent armor, but some level of armor and a shield is always great for a pikeman. Dunman Hunters there, Spear Guard. No Dunman Hunters now, of course, with the new version. They've lost those. Over here, the Black Wolves again, Rhudaur Swordsmen, Guards of Orthanc, some Berserkers, Frodham Javs, and some Axe Throwers in the back here. So nothing too... Oh, some Champions of the White Hand, that's nice. Troll Hunters, and... Is that double Berserker? One Herenadine Berserker. I'm sure we saw another one. I definitely, I'm not against going into, you know, as a defender, going into the red limit for something, but double Herenadine Berserkers is definitely a new thing. No, I think I just must have seen them in my mind. Anyway, over here we do have Gondor, played by Bacon Soup. He's got his unarmor upgraded Gondorian archers there. I mean, in Rhudaur, not Rhudaur, sorry, on Edoras, you really just want quite a lot of archers as an attacker. We've seen some attackers punished for that recently. Goodness sake, that's a lot of archers. Unarmor upgraded Veterans of Osgiliath there too. But Edoras, defenders really have nowhere to hide, especially when you've got Rhudaur on the defense. You could just pepper those poor boys to pieces on the inside. Then unarmor upgraded Gondor infantry as well. Goodness me, it's very. I've been seeing this a lot more recently from Gondor. The only these archers have actually received an armor upgrade, I believe so, because if they haven't, then they're kind of more in line with this Gondor militia infantry, that sort of more brown look. But you can see they're a bit more silvery and black instead of sort of this brown, slightly more rusted chainmail. That's kind of cool. And then even civilians here, goodness sake, and more militia archers there from Bacon Soup. Great thing about the militia archer is, of course, it's got that shield value as well, so maybe it's got nowhere near as much armor as the Gondorian archer, but that shield on their back allows them to skirmish very, very well. Of course, losing the Gondor militia now with the new version, so it'll be cool to see how these guys perform, and then the Fountain Guard at the back. And Wardens of Minas Ithil too, goodness sake. So there's a huge amount of arrow fire is going to be coming in from Bacon Soup. That's very, very scary. But I guess, I mean, really just relying on the Fountain Guard and the Gondorian infantry to make his gains there. Hopefully he's going to be working side by side with one of his allies. He's got his Eastmark Spears here. This is Ricky Beagle playing as Rohan. So Eastmark spears, double Eastmark spears, those javelins, and just low tier spears after that. Shield maidens of Rohan, of course, a certain pick. Yeah, you really wouldn't not want to have them in some sort of siege scenario. Rhudaur axemen, and of course that little morale buff is always quite nice for the grind. Eastmark axemen being a bit more fodder infantry, more of these Rhudaur axemen to get through that Isengard plate. Westmark spears, so he does have some more of the quality infantry, and these shield maidens. I like that we got some Eastmark. Interesting. Eastmark riders there. I'm gonna have to go to 1x speed because things will get underway quite quickly, I suspect. Eastmark riders don't have an anti-cavalry bonus, do they? It's an interesting choice. Over there, the Sons of Ale, I understand taking them to say counter enemy cav that's going to be coming out, and then of course charging. Getting some little charges on the inside if you can, but Eastmark Riders is a bit of a surprise. I guess maybe he just had a little bit of leftover money and he was like, yeah, like I'll see what I can do with it. Anyway, over here we've got Lothlorien, played by Smeagol. He's got his Watchers off the Golden Wood, some Lorinand Archers alongside them, Woodland Protectors, then Lorinand Axemen, some Spears, some Warriors, and then some hidden units perhaps. But some Lorinand spears. So yeah, we will go to 1x speed because I think some units are going to be popping up from Smeagol. Oh wait, no, because he did actually deploy the rest of his force over here. Woodland Protectors, Kindred, Archers, some Blades of the Wood without an armor upgrade today. No hoods, so no armor upgrade for them. Axemen and Warriors. Okay, that's kind of interesting from Smeagol. He's really gone quite heavy into his infantry. Whereas his allies, or at least Gondor, has gone really heavy into Archers. But with Lothlorien, you don't need many archers to get a tremendous amount of work done. It'll be interesting to see what are we doing with these champions of the White Hand. Are they still... They're still left over there, but Ties is moving them forward. Having a quick look over the front lines, it looks like Isengard is primarily going to be on this side, which I think is a good shout. And Rhudaur is going to be primarily on this side, but they're positioning very close to each other. Both these players are, of course, really quite experienced, so they really should know what they're up to here, even if they're not really communicating with each other. They should be able to pick up each other's vibes quite quickly. But I think Isengard being over here is a dang good idea, just so that they're going to be able to resist a lot of that damage from this mass Gondorian archer, rain that's going to be coming across them. Because, I mean, this whole line of archers, but 1, 2, the civilians are moving through. I mean, it's at least 6, 7 archers maybe. It's absolutely crazy, I feel. We'll see how well it works out for them. Ties has got his archers going to be firing back, but they're going to definitely struggle in a skirmish engagement. We do have the Rohirrim bursting through the walls already. Of course, furious and ready to take back their fortress from the, from the Hillmen. Perhaps in this case, Rhudaur representing more of a Dunnish presence. And, the Gondorians, of course, coming to assist in retaking the capital city here. Now, of course, with Edoras, the thing to remember is, of course, you can bust these walls open just about everywhere along them with your rams, so open as many holes as you possibly can. Just because you never know, you might just need them. But that's also a risk when it comes to the defenders having some cavalry. You don't want to give them too many ways to get out. But those Sons of Ale, or Errol, they should be able to go toe-to-toe with the champions of the White Hand. Certainly not beat them in a 1v1 fight, but they'll be able to chase them off or hold them in place quite nicely. Especially if they want to hold them in place and then the Eastmark Riders come in for a backstab. That's all well and good too. Westmark Infantry leading the way. Very cool here. Now, this is where I'd be tempted to maybe charge in with my champions, get a blast into their side, but no, Ties is maybe not going to be quick enough to get those archers out, or certainly not all of them. Most of them are going to be able to run away, but if those infantry get moved up a little bit deeper, well, that's a good little catch there. I love the aggression there from Ricky Beagle. Very, very cool to see, and especially sending in such a high quality unit so early. Not as many casualties as we maybe would have thought, but still just pushes these archers. This is a very powerful defensive position to have your archers set up, and it's really, really devastating if the attackers get an archer unit here. So Ties is going to want to defend this with everything he's got. Urukai infantry certainly got the capabilities to go more than toe-to-toe with most human men-at-arms. But the Westmark infantry are certainly capable of giving them a good run. More Westmark infantry, sorry, we're jumping back and forth because of all these holes getting opened up in the walls. Half-orc spear guard. I routinely underestimate the half-orc spear guard, so I don't want to make any judgments here, but I do believe... Oh, I'm going to turn down the grass. I tend to do that when it comes to Edoras, just because the grass ends up growing up through the pathways, and although it could make sense that Edoras has been left to sort of go a little bit wild with the grass, I think I'd prefer to see the pathways. But I mean, I think the longer this fight goes on, the better the Westmark infantry are going to be doing there. They should quite comfortably have that fight. I like most of what's going on for Ricky right now. He's taking some arrow fire. Of course, not as well armoured as his Gondorian allies. I'm going to have to slow down a little bit for a minute just to see Gondor. Good stuff from Bacon Soup. He's following the call from Rohan. Now again, what I'm really scared about is those Gondor infantry do not have a spear around them. Champions of the White Hand may be tempted to come in for a charge. I really don't like how far ahead those guys are moving, Bacon Soup. We'll see how that goes for them. But no, I wouldn't, as a defender, I definitely wouldn't have expected the aggression here. Especially with the armies that were arrayed against me, I would have expected them to march up and fire arrows at me for at least like 10,000 frames before they came charging in. But no, the fact that they've gone straight for it with infantry, which is of course very exciting for us to see and quite exciting to play, it would have certainly caught me off guard. Pelargir Marines getting set up here, not really wanting to throw right into the face of the Urkai infantry, but I mean, I'd take it. If I could guarantee I'm not going to be missing, then that's sort of fair enough. Yeah, it's primarily going into the infantry, and that's some high casualties there. Yeah, sure, the shields are absorbing a bit of that, but these are good quality troops. This isn't fodder by any stretch that's dropping here. No, they're still just sort of moving on up. No, I thought they were in shield wall for a minute when they were moving. I was like, no, they don't have shield wall ability. Over here, Eastmark Axemen taking hits right to the back. Unless they've received an armor upgrade, which I don't believe they have. I think you start to see them all with a much more complete leather chest plate on them when they've received that. They're dying very quickly to that. Is it just basic arrow fire? Dunman Hunter fire. Yeah, okay, that's really quite a nice use of that. I wouldn't be really wanting to use a higher quality archer on something like the Eastmark Axemen. But no, that's perfect for them. Over here, Westmark Infantry, they think they're struggling, but they're doing quite well. Don't, yeah. Get your thoughts sorted out, boys. Lornan Spears coming in to back up again. The Elves... sometimes what you see from the elves when they're alongside humans, sometimes it's quite a good idea, but the elves often do hold back. They let the humans charge in first. We're not seeing that today. The elves of Lothlorien are more than happy to go in there and take the early game punches right alongside their human allies. That's great to see, and it's providing a hell of a lot of skill, especially Lornan Spearmen. A hell of a lot of skill alongside those Westmark infantry. Sorry, I burped. I hope I burped off to the side. I hope my mic didn't pick that up, but dearie me. Over here you're seeing the Gondorian infantry moving up, having a good time. See, this is what I'd expect the half-orc spear guard to have a much better fight up against the Gondorian infantry without those armor upgrades, but they're kind of struggling now. And you're seeing it really is being down to ties on both sides to take these early hits, which it makes a bit of sense because of course the Isengard forces have a lot better armor, but oh dear. We do need to see some Rhudaur troops getting involved soon. Snaga Skirms taking an absolute beating from arrow fire. Normally, I wouldn't be a big fan to shoot something like the Snaga Skirms, but if you gave me Bacon Soup's army, I would be shooting everything. I would be, if it was if it didn't have a shield facing me, I'm putting an arrow in it. I'm kind of surprised they're not trying to put any shots into those crossbowmen. They surely are in range. Oh, the crossbows are opening up though. What are we going into? Pelargir Marines? Surely not. I don't know if there's really... Just shooting into the... Is it just the infantry on the front lines here? Yeah, they're just popping shots into these Gondorian infantry. The problem is, that's either hitting their fronts or their left sides. And so that is hitting the shield. We got the trolls coming down. I do like that. Let me try and maybe grab some shots here. Come on, trolls, get down, get down. Bit scary, bit scary. I really like to see that. Oh no! Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, something like that will do perfect. Gondorians, yeah, so you're shooting their fronts or their left sides. So if I was Bacon Soup, I'd be okay with that. I think Bacon Soup, I mean, with all of his Gondorian infantry, they've kind of just been taken to be fodder, which is a bit of a shame to call Gondorian infantry fodder, but like, he seems to really have been focusing so much on his archers. I think all of those infantry are just kind of there to take hits for his allies, so that their infantry can shine later on and not get shot. Eastmark Spears kind of doing quite well up against the Rhudaur clansmen. This is a fight I would have... I would have thought, yeah, okay, they're having victory now. I would really expect that fight to be going in favour of the Rhudaur clansmen. Eastmark Spears do have that little javelin volley. I think they've got 2 javelins to send. Nothing not too impressive, but I mean, still, it's an armor-piercing javelin at the end of the day. Over here, it's a bit of a nastier fight for the Rhudaur clansmen. I say, great to see them without that armor upgrade. I think they're really, really nice. Going toe-to-toe with those Westmark infantry, who should be having an okay time up against them, but are kind of struggling. And the Lornan Axemen. Lornan Axemen being a sword and board, axe and board unit. It's quite cool to have them. It's a bit sort of it's different than a lot of the other Elven sort of mainline infantry units. Having a little bit more of an attack value with that axe is certainly quite cool to see. Allows the Lornan forces to chew through the enemy a bit faster. Let's go. Oh dear. Yeah, so you're seeing a break there from the infantry. See, what I worry about here is we don't really have a troll killing unit now. The Gondorian infantry are just going to have to sort of come in one by one and just kind of get fed to the trolls. Because we've got so many archers. I mean, the Pelgrim Marines, if the Pelgrim Marines had a javelin to spend... Oh dear! Ties is maybe... I don't know if he's meant to do that with his infantry. The trolls maybe were meant to come out, but the infantry is a bit risky. Getting a break here would be nice. Those infantry are going to go down swinging, though, it looks like. Kindred opening up here. Yeah, they're definitely out of range of those crossbows, but Kindred opening up. Looks like they were just unloading shots into the Snaga. I don't know how... I don't like that. Rhudaur marksmen in the back here, of course, no, not with their spear yet. Right now, still just with a blade. Wants to use up their ammunition. Rhudaur swordsmen coming in. Okay, that's... If the Rhudaur clansmen were having an okay time, then yeah, the Rhudaur swordsmen are going to really, really enjoy this fight. As they come in swinging against the Eastmark spearmen. Over here, Lornan Axemen's kind of enjoying this. Yeah, I'd say it's a tough thing for the Rhudaur clansmen to counter. Just not really having any real defensive ability. Having that spear allows them to have some defensive ability, but there's still men of Rhudaur at the end of the day, so if you come at them with a high attack value, they cannot do much against it. Rhudaur archers moving up. We've not actually been watching what these guys have been shooting, but they're moving up. Eastmark spears with their javelins still at hand, arriving now. Ricky's been very, very happy to use his... Westmark units so early here, which I think is nice, having them come in alongside the Eastmark forces and really sort of do the damage where it's needed. Those infantry must have broken now, but yeah, you can see these trolls are going to be loving this engagement. There's just nothing here that's doing anywhere near enough damage to them. Lornan Axemen maybe, but still, that's not an AP axe. That's just a higher damage axe value. So yeah, I mean, they're going to be hurting them a bit, but I think Ties can be happy enough with what's what's going on here. Is interrupting a lot of these archers, and each of these trolls should be getting their worth from what's around them. Still, the fact that all of the Gondorian militia archers have that black sort of tabard. That's the word I'm looking for here. Yeah, is that tabard? No, it's a tabard longer. Tunic. Yeah, it's just a tunic, I think. Yeah, have that sort of black tunic makes me think that that's their basic look. Maybe they can't receive an armor upgrade, and it's just the basic infantry that can receive that armor upgrade. But anyway, shots coming in, sort of clattering right into the front of those Uruk-hai infantry. More than happy to sort of shrug that off. Oh dear, that's a sad break. They will come back, but Ties is trying to get a few more of them, but no, they're just a bit faster going down that hill. But still, that was a bit of a shameful break, boys. Come on, you can fight a little bit longer than that. Here, Riddermark Axemen arriving now with that big, well, yeah, AP. Not really going to worry too much about that against Rhudaur, but just high attack value coming in, sort of clashing into the poorly defended Rhudaur forces should be a good shout. We keep saying that, but it's, yeah, I don't know if you're listening to the announcer. I think it's just, oh, funny. Oh, fantastic, this guy didn't get bugged out. Oh, great. It's always fun to just have one individual man as you're messing around. You can do some fun things with him. Champions actually, oh dear, what the heck happened there? Somebody must have gotten some long range shots. Well, obviously, but oh, I was wondering. I was like, "There's no houses over there. What the hell is that?" But no, he's just left 2 rams over there. Champions, right? So this is what I was kind of expecting from Ties. I was sort of thinking he'd be able to get some good charges into those infantry, because this is flat ground, and this is really just what the champions are made for. But this is amazing from Bacon Soup. Really good catch here. And yeah, catching a few more of them. I think maybe Ties has spotted it there, but yeah, they're not coming in with any sort of anti-cavalry bonus, but that's just a lot of swords hitting them. So the Nazhai, alongside the Berserkers, they're gonna yeah, easily just wipe these guys away and probably break them. As much as I liked that from Bacon Soup, I just don't think it's really worth it. He's gonna lose this unit without too much gain. But hey, it's a cool move. It's a cool move all the same. Some trolls, maybe one troll looks like that's it. Yeah, that's just the single troll is moving away from that fight. So I do think he's done some good work with that. But get him out of there now. Infantry here grinding away. What were we at percentage-wise? 27 for 24. That's a really... Oh, dearie me. Yeah, lots of archers here. Selene. One of the guys glitched out in that T-pose. I love that. It's always a great sort of animation to see that get triggered. But yeah, no, so it's a bit of a dicey situation for the defenders to be down at this point. You know, defenders, you never really want to be down as a defender. Certain army compositions, of course, can make that work or not work, but yeah, that's a bit of a scary situation to be in. But considering the amount of firepower, I guess Edoras is a bit different, just because the amount of firepower that the attackers are able to bring to bear against you, you are going to be down in the beginning, or you're more likely to be down in the beginning, where perhaps your archers shine a little bit later on. Yeah, it kind of flips the whole sort of siege situation on its head, doesn't it? Javelins there, those Snaga javelins from Ties, just going into sort of whatever they can really see. But again, if I was Ricky, I'd be okay. If I see a Eastmark Spears taking those javelins, I'm alright with that, as sad as that is to say. Riddermark Axemen, hopefully just being pulled out. No, Brui, unfortunately they're breaking there, but it's just 19 of them breaking. But still, that's going to cause a nasty shake along the lines of these Riddermark archers, as they're still sort of trying to clash into the Rhudaur swordsmen, who are going to really be enjoying that. Let me sit here for a minute. We're watching the archers coming overhead. I'm just going to sit here while I take a few gulps of tea. As I say, I've been trying to do something different with my recordings recently. I think it's hopefully cut down on that grainy effect that happens a lot on my videos. Just sort of when I'm moving around a little bit too fast, sometimes the image can get a bit grainy. I'm hoping that I've removed that a bit. I'm still seeing it happen every now and again, but I think it's a lot less frequent now than it used to be. Now that I've said that, it's probably something you're noticing a lot, but fingers crossed it's not too prevalent in this video. Yet the single troll standing his ground there, ties with his crossbowmen and archers coming around. Oh wow, you almost never... That's very cool. I've never actually positioned a unit all the way over here. I didn't even think you could. I thought this was as far as you could get, but no, you can tuck them in there. Problem is, they're nice and close to be shot at now. Even if they are like really point blank to blast the enemy. I don't think Tides is too worried about that. I'm sure at this point he'd be okay with you shooting his archers, just don't shoot his infantry. And as long as his archers still manage to get their ammunition used up. Those pikes are in the fight. The Uruk-hai pikes are something that the attackers really... I mean, yeah, we don't have any guards of Osgiliath today. We've got the Fountain Guard, but still those are halberds, they're not pikes. The only proper pikemen that we might have are the Guardians, the Caris Galathron Guardians, but I didn't see them in the Lothlorien forces. So having that extra range, but as I've been punished dozens of times now on Edoras, because of that steep terrain, your pikes, you've got to be careful with pikes. because they just might not be too effective with the protectors. Looks like, okay, they've sort of halted that attack, which is a difficult thing to pull off, especially when you've got quite a lot of different attackers. You've got to have some good communication to say, like, guys, you know, let's pause, let's use up our ammunition. Because of how aggressive they've been with their infantry in the early stages, they still have quite a lot of archers, and maybe, you know, they force Ties to bring out the pikemen to counter all of that infantry. And, oh dearie me, we're getting archer fire. Oh, who is shooting that? Goodness sake. Is that just the helmet? That's just basic archers. Well, not basic. The helmets are quite decent, but that is a long-range shot. Oh, dearie me, and that's hitting some enslavers. Oh, that stings for the defenders, for sure. And that's just why losing this position, like, losing this position sucks, but that's going to happen all the time. Losing this position is horrific. Especially when you've got things like the Kindred. Oh my god, imagine if the Kindred got set up there. And if the Kindred were doing a few of those volleys, you know, if you've got the... Where's the Wards of Minas Ithil as well? We get something really devastating over there. The Suns have come on over here. How did this end up going? I am shocked by this. Is this another... How the hell did you survive? Their morale, very well done from this unit there, and good, well, not careful use, but good knowledge of what his men are capable of there, Bacon Soup. I'm very, very impressed with that. You can see a few of them. Oh, well, maybe this is another unit, because that's a lot of guys that have fallen there. But still, there's some Gondorians hanging around here, happy enough to fight, and that's forcing the enemy to pull back. I'm really just shocked at how little damage those champions have been able to do there. The Suns have arrived again. As I say, the Suns won't enjoy a fight up against the champions, but if they're able to try and, you know, give themselves a little bit of an advantage in some way, they should be able to take it. Guards of Orthanc arriving here. That's pretty cool, and of course they are very well armored. They have that shield, so they are going to be pretty comfortable here with whatever the attacker is going to throw at them. The attackers don't have much in the way of AP. I mean, well, I guess, of course, the Pellagra Marines and so on, but still not too much. I think a lot of the Pellagra Marines have had their ammunition used up already, but yeah, so those Guards of Orthanc are going to be holding the line very, very nicely, just buying the defenders a bit of time here. It's good to always see that's a real stream of corpses all the way up the hill. You know, whereas here it looks like really the defenders have been held in place for a lot longer. Dunman Hunters have had to be sent on in here now. They're just going to get sliced and diced. 43 for 35. That's quite scary now for the defenders. You really don't want to be falling behind in that way. Oh dear. Don't even know what killed you. Must have just been this guy walking past. The last few of these Rhudaur clansmen standing. We really need these guys to be fighting to the last. Well, we can't really reinforce them, because if we reinforce them, we're going to get backstabbed anyway. We need to let them fall, because if we try and pull them out at this point, they will just break. So we just have to hope they're going to do as much damage as humanly possible until that happens. Deary me. So, bit shaky, but you can see Colonel is sending forward some more heavy hitters now, in the form of sort of some of these Rhudaur swordsmen, and the Trollshaw axe throwers there arriving. All the while, just constantly, we're suffering ranged fire damage. Just with the amount of archers that Gondor's got, it's just a constant thing throughout this fight. No matter where you are, you're going to be getting shot by a Gondorian. Gondor is not so much of so Gondor in the new version, they've received a lot of changes. Definitely a lot of focus went into them. And I think most of those changes have made them a lot more powerful. They are incredible in a siege now. Certainly a guaranteed pick if you got access to them. But something that Gondor used to be was a real archer powerhouse. And I think they can still do that. They've not lost that ability. But you can see from what Bacon's brought today, this used to be possible, and it's not really anymore. Because you used to have, say, the Gondor archers, the Marksmen of Caer Andros, Veterans of Osgiliath, the Gondor Militia Archers. You had access to so many, maybe not super high tier. Okay. The Suns have not noticed that. They're moving over here. And Ties might be able to get these guys finished off. I think he's going to. I mean, they're shaking already. They must break. If he gets one decent charge, 61. That was a proper charge. Okay, I didn't think they were moving fast enough to do one, but no, they did. That's down to 43 now. The Suns are running on back. Ricky he's spotting it now. But even with that, they didn't break. Has Bacon given them a bloody experience upgrade or something like that? I don't. I mean, as I say, Gondor infantry, they're not fodder by any stretch, but these guys have just held firm very, very well. Really, really quite impressed with them. No armor upgrade, nothing like that, but no, they've just been doing their best. Wards of Minas Ithil have arrived, along with, we're seeing the nobles, what are they called again? Watchers of the Golden Wood, sorry. Still just so much arrow fire here. And this is just not a fun time to be Rhudaur. You've got shields, of course, you know, but just that light armor value, those pikes, oh my goodness me. So much firepower coming with the poor defenders today, but this is just one of these things that makes Edoras very, very difficult to hold. Let me just move my foot mat 1 minute. Of course, I do all my recording from a standing desk, so, and when I get quite excited, I'm just constantly stepping side to side. Not that, or just moving my weight side to side, I guess, and it just slides my foot mat slowly toward the left, which, yeah, so it ends up sort of coiling up like that. Yeah, so Ricky still grinding on in. Oh dear me, those poor Rohan axemen. Ricky's not got too much left though. And he didn't really take much in the way of like elites, did he? He does have his Helm's Hammers. He does have them. They're pretty much untouched right now. They could be used actually to do a nice shield wall push at some point. To maybe if we do end up having to fall back as defenders and just shore up one final line, we could get that pike line busted open. Gondorian archers coming on forward there, maybe lacking a shield and lacking some melee ability of their swordsman brothers, but they are still wearing that same armor. They can still commit to a good grind. Poor berserkers there. I'm surprised those berserkers. I guess you'd be shooting the left side. You would hit that shield, wouldn't you? Yeah. It's going to be down a lot of... I think most of these losses have been down to Isengard, which is... I mean, it makes sense, because if somebody's going to be able to withstand some of that damage, it's Isengard. They're the only people that are sort of capable of doing it. Some breaks going on there. Ricky doesn't have too much more to give. You know, because the thing is, we're looking at these percentages and we're like, oh god, the defenders are dead, the defenders... It's finished, it's over. But so much of that remaining power from the attackers are just Bacon Soup's archers. And once that ammunition has been used up, you know, they're just you know, going to come in and do a bit of a limp-wristed smash here and there with their swords. It's not going to do too much, arguably. So we'll see. Certainly not counting the defenders out yet. In the newer Total Wars, well, there are the Fountain Guard remaining, of course, but yeah, we'll see. In like Warhammer, Total War, the balance of power does take into account ammunition, which gets a bit spicy. It does get a bit spicy, but so you do sort of see that once units are running low on ammunition, the balance of power does start to shift, which that's not something that happens in Medieval 2. But it is quite funny, of course, in Warhammer I'm a big sort of high elf player, so I do like my Sisters of Avalorn, and when you have, say, a good 2/3 of your army as Sisters of Avalorn, and they use up all of their ammunition, suddenly it's like, oh god, we've lost, because so much that balance of power is gone. It's a bit weird, I could have sworn somebody was knocking on my door. Anyway, oh dear, the Kindred ripping through Black Wolves here. This is really not pretty. Black Wolves are 2 hit point units, but they don't have much armor value. Unlike a lot of Rhudaur's roster, though, the Black Wolves do actually have some defensive skill. Of course, being those really rugged mountain men, they're used to dodging out of the way of various boulders and wild animals, so they're quite capable of dodging out of the way of blades, just the same. But doesn't really matter when you're getting shot to pieces by Kindred. Goodness sake, ouch. Definitely something that Colonel was hoping to have on the front line, and this is going to change the balance of power an awful lot, because of course the balance of power loves multi-hit point units. That's why the balance of power is greatly affected by things like, you know, the ghouls, barrow wights. So yeah, having these guys fall is going to be very rough for that. Over here the pikes have arrived. Dearie me. More and more kindred fire now. Oh, marksman. One marksman of Kyrandal's pushing in deep there, taking on some skirmishers and crossbowmen 1v1. Oh no, mate, you were doing really well. Oh dear, well he's going to come back for a little backstab on the main line and help sort of break that. Dearie me. Yeah, because it looks fully red here, dearie me. Because it is just a few black rolls. If you look on the minimap, you're seeing it's totally red here now. Just because they're fully surrounded by the Gondorians now. Pikemen there getting backstabbed. Oh, fresh troops. No, just some guys that have been left behind arriving now. Orenadine pikes arriving. Again, having that shield is going to be really useful for enemy range, to resist some range damage. And it's something that these Rohirrim are going to really struggle against. The way that Rohirrim can sort of deal with a pike line is either with their shield maidens to throw those axes, or with their solid shields to try and, spearmen to try and bust through it, or slightly, not outrange a pike, but reduce that distance a bit. So so many of those spearmen have been used up already, and the numbers are gone to really get a shield wall push through. You're seeing a bit of a push here from Smeagol. This is not, I think these guys are in shield wall. They're not being ordered to push, but this is just the natural effect that happens when you got them in shield wall. They're just doing a push with every attack. It's a bit safer for them. A lot less damage is going to be suffered, but it's pushing a lot slower than it would be if you say grabbed them and told them get up there, because then they will just do a shunt. Marksman Kyrandal's still loosing those arrows. I was really worried at the amount of archers that Bacon Suit brought. I didn't think it was going to work out well for him, but I mean, still, right now it's going all right, but, we'll just have to see what happens. Blades of the Wood coming forward. It's interesting to see a militia tier unit being sent up now, but as I say, when you're fighting alongside humans, this militia tier unit is still as good, if not better, than a lot of the mainline human forces. So saving them for something like this is probably not a bad idea. Those Wardsmen of Ithil are almost gone, but this is where you can see the general. I'm sure Bacon would probably be throwing them out into the fight right now, but that's where he's got his general, so he wants to keep him alive for a good bit longer at least. Because as I say, a lot of his troops are on the militia tier of the spectrum, so we don't want to suffer a general death until we absolutely have to. Lorinad Warriors, this is a nice beefy unit of Lorinad Warriors for later. The Helm's Hammers are coming around. We've not seen the... Oh, Trolls the White Hand are coming on in. By Trolls, I mean Troll. The single Troll the White Hand, with all of the blessings of his fallen brothers. Up against the Blades of Wood, he'll probably do okay, but he is going to be very badly hurt. You can see the Berserkers are involved there now as well. I don't know how much range damage those Berserkers took getting to the front lines. Blades of the Wood, to be honest, is quite a nice counter for them. Berserkers really want to fight, they want to fight like a Gondorian. They want to fight somebody that's relying on their armor more than anything else. But those Blades of the Wood, they may be elven, well, yeah, they may be militia tier, but they are elven militia tier, so they are, some good defensive values that the Berserkers are going to struggle with, actually. They're going to lose, of course, 1v1, they'll lose to the Berserkers, but it's all about these cost-effective fights sometimes. So that's cool, that's another fresh unit of pikes arriving now. Do we have anything going on over here? The eternal, the absolutely everlasting Gondorian infantry are still kicking around, backed up by the angelic shield maidens too, up against Nazhai. But to be honest with you, the fact that they've been able to somehow shunt the Nazhai into up against the wall here is an exceptional thing. They've been able to sort of achieve these big, 3, 4, 5v1 fights. I mean, you can be as good as you want. If you've got 5 women stabbing you in the back with swords at once, you're not going to do too well. The Nazhai will come out on top there, but I'm surprised they have taken a good bit of damage there. And these Gondorians, when they do break, there will be absolutely no shame at all in that. Some half-orc spear guard coming down. Those shield maidens have actually pushed deep on through. I don't know if I really agree with that strategy, but good on them. Yeah, this one all the way back there. And that's all they've got to the town centre, but there's no more reinforcements coming right now. They've got the Suns, but the Suns can't really push up there themselves. And there isn't really Gondor Militia Archers, they're out of ammo. They could maybe come on around if they wanted to, but it's, don't know. Oh, Fountain Guard have come on forward. Right now they're saying defeat is certain. but I'm sure that will change. They seem to have only really just arrived recently. Oh, Sneeze, maybe Sneeze incoming, I think. Etmore Troll Hunters, that's great. We need these Fountain Guard dead, so if the Etmore Troll Hunters can get a volley or two into them, then that'll be fantastic. A few Blades of the Wood remaining, only 14 of them now though. Looks like there's a bit of a gap developing now, which could allow the Etmore Troll Hunters their chance. Because even just one good volley into the Fountain Guard could be, it'd be very, very nice. Some final breaks going on here, and it looks like Rohan is out of this. Saying that, the Helm's Hammers are still kicking about. Well, we've got Eastmark Riders over here just being used to sort of... Oh! Eastmark Riders having to engage the Champions of the White Hand. See, this is really the Suns over here, because yeah, the Champions of the White Hand will... I mean, if this was a fair fight without the Eastmark Riders getting any charges in, I'd be surprised if they inflicted a single loss up against the Champions. But if the Eastmark Riders can hold them in place for a little while, the Suns are coming around, but it's a long way for them to go. Nazhai have become, well, they've been victorious there. There's a few Spear Guard remaining too. No reason for the Suns to be standing guard there now. So no, that's all right. Helm's Hammers coming on in, taking fire. Those are axes, aren't they? No, those are just... Oh, they are some axes. It's only 5 of them, but an axe to the face is never nice. But the Helm's Hammers, really quite nice armor value, good shield on them, so they shouldn't really be struggling too much with that. We don't want to be sitting and taking it though, so we are getting involved now. It looks like Colonel stopped for a minute, Ricky stopped for a minute just to maybe get his boys into shield wall. Perhaps, or maybe just pause them because they don't look like they're in shield wall. By the way, they'll quite enjoy that fight. Maybe being in shield wall would be a good idea for them to keep sort of shunting up into those pikes. I was counting out Ricky, but no, he's still got his Westmark Marshals too. And some Shield Maidens surviving over here as well. We do have to be a bit wary though. Those 12 champions are through now and they're going to start getting backstabs into us. Those Woodland Protectors are going to have to watch this. The Suns really need to get around here to start hunting them down. Suns have arrived here, but we need them to stop this, because those champions, if those champions get a backstab into the Helm's Hammers, that's exactly where I'd be going right now. And if I was those Woodland Protectors, I'd want to be positioning myself over here. Oh, Lornand Archers. I guess those Woodland Protectors are wanting to go over and protect the Lornand Archers who are about to receive a charge. No. I guess, okay, Smegel, yeah, fair play, fair play. Yeah, he wants to be safe with them, because one good volley into Ty's champions and they're gone. And they're really a tool that they need right now. Those Helm's Hammers will happily keep grinding. Frodrim Jabs will put a stop to them pretty quick, but Frodrim Jabs need to maybe be saved for something else. Oh, well, he can't ask for too much better, but yeah. The Fountain Guard grinding. We're seeing a lot of them have died, but now that they are just in their absolute lawnmower mode, they are just going to keep just bringing those halberds down over and over into the Wildman defense now. Backed up by some Gondor militia infantry too, just to provide a little bit of mass for them, a little bit of backup kindred coming forward. Some Elven elites, even if they're out of ammunition, those Elven elites are going to be tough to beat in melee later on. Gondor militia archers there. Where are the Suns? What is this? Some routing infantry. Civilians haven't been used. It's kind of interesting. Usually you'd see the civilians dead by now. That's quite a shame, but if they get... I mean, that's 200 souls. And shoot, we missed it. I'm sorry about that. Let's zoom on over to that engagement. I didn't expect the Suns to get around here so quickly. But no, the Suns have taken some casualties, but they've dealt a good stinging blow to the champions. It says 5, but I'm only counting 3. Yeah, some of them were just in a death animation. So 3 champions can't do really as much with them, but it's good, Ricky, just stay on them. Just get these guys wiped out. Ty's has got a lot to focus on right now, so your micro is going to be a bit better than his. General for general, though. So the Rohirrim general has fallen just a moment after. But the Helm's Hammers are still standing strong. Having your general in with the Helm's Hammers, Theoden would have had an armor-piercing blade there for those swings, which is good. One final charge there, Tyus, or are we going to try and work our way back to the main line? We'll see. Yep, no, good man, good man. Hey, that was 60 before contact. Down to 49. And he's maybe... No, surely he's not going to get away. Don't let him get away. But that was good. I mean, that's 11 elves just killed. 11 elves for one champion. Maybe even none. No champions. Dearie me. Very well done. I'll have to see if they're able to sort of make it back later. Not too many Fountain Guard remaining. Only 17 Fountain Guard. Do we have another unit of Fountain Guard or not? Oh, I don't think we do. Oh, I don't think we do. It's... Oh, we do. We do. Ah, okay. Nice. So one full unit of Fountain Guard still kicking about. That's going to be tough to work our way through. Nazhire engaged there. Of course, all those slashes from the brave infantry and shield maidens is going to hurt them. I don't know how much longer they've got.
Our men have taken control of the fort.
Not too many left off these Helm's Hammers as well. Sun's pulling back. Now the wonder is, oh dear me, yeah, so what inflicted, Reforged Jabs must have gotten over there. Are we seeing any champions? I'm just wondering if they made it in for a charge or not. Or if the champions have perished, possibly. Dear me, yeah, okay. These archers are out of ammunition, so now we're kind of facing the problem that I was expecting. You know, the attackers are just... They're out of ammunition. And do they have enough infantry to really bring it home? I think either way, this is going to be pretty damn tight. Rohirrim Jabs here, they've still got ammo as well. Oh dear, this is just... Because one thing that would finish, not finish this, but almost, is if this full unit of Fountain Guard get there uncontested. If this full unit of Fountain Guard can line up and start grinding through the front line without taking an axe or a javelin to the face, then I think the attackers, well, the attackers are in a very, very good position. But still, those, I mean, those 200 civilians... civilians don't have a terrible attack value. It's just that they don't know how to defend themselves. But they are still furious. They are still ready to try and retake this this capital. So they can hurt. They can certainly hurt, but they will just get hurt in tow. And axe throwers there would rip them up. Shield maidens, depends a lot on just whether or not they've got... I'm seeing them all holding axes. Yeah, no, they've got their throwing weapons out. That's a good sign. So if they come around now and they just unload their axes on... Well, I mean, to be honest, if they could get around and get their axes into the Reforged Jabs, that would be very tasty. But anything, I mean, if they can just get those axes into the heads of the enemy, no matter really what it is, then that's a good shout. Some Westmark Marshals broken there. Deary me, lads. And that's going to be because they're broken, they're fighting to the death, but unfortunately fighting to the death is not as powerful as it sort of implies. It's their stats do go down quite drastically when that happens. And they do die pretty quick. Crossbows being pulled back. Don't know if they've still got their crossbows out. They do. There's only 17 of them, but toward the end of the fight that can definitely do some good work. Civilians here engaging the enslavers. Yeah, this probably won't do too much damage to the enslavers. We'll see. As I say, you know, if they get some good numbers on the enslavers. The crossbowman there, they'll probably inflict some better damage against him. This man throwing his spade over and over into this crossbowman. Crossbowman having to ask for aid to deal with the mighty farmer. An enslaver came in to take him out, dear me. But this is good. So, Watchers then alongside the civilians now to actually provide a bit of real damage. Axe throwers coming forward now. I think those axe throwers are in range of the Fountain Guard. I'm sure it said they were firing missiles for a minute. Perhaps not, perhaps not. No. Fountain Guard having to sort of engage now, yeah. Well, it sort of is all or nothing at this point. Even if the enemy's gonna get some javelins into you, it's just gonna happen. Over here, yeah, these guys just still fighting to the death. The Lornad warriors trying, but it's up against that pike line. And Herenidine berserkers are there too. Yeah, that's just a bit beyond our capabilities. Axes coming in from the shield maidens right into the Reforged Jabs. That's fantastic, yeah. Absolutely fantastic for the attackers. If they can... that was them out of ammo. Okay, cool. Yeah, but that was a good few volleys. Drop those Reforged Jabs down an awful lot. Those Reforged Jabs are still... Well, they're 2 hit point units. They've got some good attack values. But, I mean, shield maidens are no certainly not bad in a fight. So they'll do all right here. I think they'll lose, but I think they'll be able to sort of wipe out what's left of this section. Unless the Horizon Berserkers are able to sort of come on over and sort them out. I think if the attackers are going to be winning, it's going to be happening over here. It's going to be happening with the Fountain Guard. And the brave civilians, still 130. Reforged jabs coming around. Oh, do you have ammunition? The way that they're positioning, they do have ammo. So now it just depends, what can they get a shot in and how much ammo do they have to sort of finish off the Fountain Guard. Reforged jabs, some of the toughest javelins in the game. So they will... Oh! Whoa, the suns! Oh, fantastic. Very cool. I mean, it's not... They didn't really pull off a great charge there, and the Reforged jabs do actually have a counter-cavalry ability with that... I can't remember what this weapon's called. It's got that funny Dutch name. But, of course, they wouldn't be calling it that. They would just probably be calling it a big spoon and a stick. Well, a big set of spikes and a stick. So, oh, the sun's getting around. There's nothing in the town centre. So they could... I mean, I feel they're totally within their rights to plunk themselves on the town centre and force these guys to come up and chase them. How are the Shield Maidens? Doing better than I thought, actually. Okay, the Berserkers are having to come over. Now, the thing with that is... Oh, they just ran through. Now, they ran through because they didn't want to wake up those pikemen who could actually do a lot of damage to them. Oh, interesting. Oh, this is funny. We did end up sending these archers around the backside, and an attempted charge, we need to break them. We didn't break them. Underestimating half-orc spearguard has been the death of me time and time again. Every time I think, oh, okay, they're about to break, and they just don't, and it's like, fuck. But if we get this broken, and we still have quite a healthy unit of militia archers here that we can bring up, then that's a decent shout. Can we get in again? It's just such a steep slope. I just don't... They're not going to get their lances down. Yeah, you can see they just can't do it.
Good tidings. The enemy
Oh,
general
that must have been a javelin there. Yeah, you can see the wardens getting Reforged jabbed to the death. But any javelin, I'm sure that general was more than happy to take it. If it meant, the last few wardens of Minas Ithil taking those javelins, so that the brave Fountain Guard do not. But there seems to be one volley still readied. One last volley ready to deal with the Fountain Guard. And these Watchers. The Watchers of the Golden Wood trying to run forward to stop the javelins, trying to protect the Fountain Guard, but the general there with the Watchers. But I think even if they grab a few of them, they'll be sat... Yeah, they're sat in guard mode, you can see, so they're not really going to be able to interrupt them. Not properly. Oh, that's quite a lot of them getting interrupted, though. Guard mode can only do so much. Okay, over here. Nah, the last few Shield Maidens, they did very well, but that's them gone. Sort of wiped out the Reforged jabs, but it looks like there's one infantryman there. Yeah, the Shield Maidens there broken. One archer, dearie me. No. Yeah, so yeah, those 21 Reforged jabs still around. Surrounding the Suns, yeah, that's the Rohirrim broken. Lothlorien might not have too much left in the tank either. I don't know where the Kindred have gone, but I'm sure looks like they've probably been shot up or battled away at somewhere. An admit defeat from somewhere, probably Rohan. Oh, no. Was that bacon soup, perhaps? No, it wasn't. That was, yeah, that could have just been Rohan. I say it's a good idea. Yeah, it must have just been Rohan. It's a good idea when everything is broken, if you're going to leave the game. I say this every time, but yeah, if you're going to leave the game, just admit defeat, just to make sure nothing ends up coming back from routing, and you end up sort of getting lost, because that's a right pain in the ass if you're trying to finish the game and you're searching around for a hidden unit. Watchers there. Oh, Fountain Guard, turn around! Do not get backstabbed here, boys. Because this is, I mean, they can't really do this. Not with what's a raid against them, not with javelins still coming in. But they can certainly kill an awful lot more of those wild men. What is down here? Some civilians, they've come back from routing. You'd maybe be tempted to not actually put these guys in, just because if they come in and they break, that's just going to scare the Fountain Guard. But... yeah, no, that's the thing. They took one more of them took an axe and they're getting out of there. They've done well enough. Reforged Javs. See over here, you can see the Rhudaur Berserkers making a rapid sprint around trying to get behind the Fountain Guard. Fair play, lads. But that was a real surprise. I did not see that coming. I thought that the defenders were toast, but I think it was just a case of perhaps too many archers for the attackers and not enough sort of skilled infantry just at the end. I loved the aggression early on. I thought that was really, really cool to see. Definitely an awful lot of fun, and very fun battle to watch, and hopefully quite a fun battle to play. But yeah, it allowed them to just sort of use their archers throughout the fight as well, and really pick some great targets with it as well. Not just sort of eradicating fodder with their archers, but as I say, I think just seeing how much damage like the Fountain Guard have done. If we just had a Lothlorien Honor Guard maybe up here as well to deal with the trolls or something like that, even a Citadel Guard or two just to deal with trolls, or some more armor for the, get rid of an archer unit and just pack on armor across all of your infantry. We saw how well those infantrymen did. Those Gondorian infantry were performing incredibly well, so packing on another 2 levels of armor for them, that's what, 100? Yeah, because it's 25 for Gondor. It's only 25 for an armor upgrade. So maxing out an infantryman's armor, that'll be 2 levels. So that's 50. Yeah, what, 5 Gondorian infantry? Yeah. We could have just lost an archer and really packed that on across the board. Don't know how much it would have really done. Probably would have been better off to just have that extra, archer units worth of ammunition. But yeah, it's a thought. And of course, with the amount of AP that Rhudaur is bringing to bear, and also Isengard has a lot of ammunition to spend too. I always say, of course, Ty is not a new player. He's a very, very experienced player. But if you are any new players, we've got quite a lot of them recently with the new version. It's absolutely fantastic to see. Isengard's a great faction to sort of get your head around early game. They're quite a good forgiving faction. They've got a lot of great tools, but not too many to confuse you. They've got a lot of great tools. They've got, they've got something to sort of deal with every situation. They've got good armor, decent discipline and morale across the board. So it's really just something that's difficult to mess up with Isengard. So definitely a faction I'd recommend in your initial sort of few playthroughs, if you're just getting to grips with Reforged. Most people, though, at this point, it's very rare to get somebody that's never touched Reforged before. Most people are, it's like, oh yeah, I last played Reforged 2 years ago. So they know what's going on. They know the situation. They're just a bit, yeah, they need a refresher. But yeah. So cool. But that's that then. So that was 96%. It's certainly pretty damn close, I feel. Let's see what we ended up with for Colonel. Rhudaur Berserkers, they're still pretty damn healthy. Still a lot of killing to be done if they needed to. Axe throwers, their goodness sake. As they do. You're always going to get some good kills from the axe throwers and the troll hunters too. Pikes there. Poor pikes. But I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Makes a bit of sense, I guess. These pikes trapping a lot of prisoners, holy smokes. The Black Wolves just getting shot to pieces. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me too much. Swordsman 219 from one of those swordsmen. That's absolutely awesome. Dudman Hunters, and of course the Marksmen, and another unit of Reforged Jazz. Did he go? He must have gone into the red limit for that second one, because I think you can only get one. Yeah. I'm sure he went into the red limit for that second unit, but I think that's probably a good idea. What I'm kind of surprised is no Rangers. I would have kind of thought, instead of taking that second unit of Reforged Jazz, I would have grabbed a Ranger. But hey, it worked out for him. The Reforged Jabs are of course going to be a lot more impressive in melee afterward than Rangers. But of course this is 0.97, so we still got the body piercing in 0.97. We do not have that in 0.98. But yeah, cool. Thank you guys very much. Oh yeah, shoot, everybody else, yeah. But like rattling through, I really loved how everybody played. I thought it was really, really entertaining. I think the aggression of everybody was super duper cool. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you'd expect from the lads like this. So cool. Thank you guys very much. I will see you later.